So it is day one of the John Muir Trail, and I'm currently in Yosemite National Park at the Tunnel View viewpoint. My trailhead is actually at the back of the valley, but you got to stop at Tunnel View, and I wanted to kind of show sort of the beauty and the grandeur of the Yosemite Valley before I get to my trailhead, which is kind of like at the back and hidden, and you can't really see the valley. So let me turn this around. So we got the early morning haze here, which you can see is beautiful deep valley here. You might be able to see it's kind of hidden in shadow. There's a waterfall right there. It's Bridal Veil Fall. Right across is El Capitan, famous for rock climbing. At the very back, we have Half Dome, right there. And that's more of where my trailhead's gonna be. It actually shares kind of the same trail that you would take to hike up to Half Dome. Okay, so next step is going through the valley and getting to my actual John Muir trailhead. Okay, first sign I've seen that actually says John Muir Trail. Parking is a little weird in Yosemite right now, so I had to walk a half mile just to get to my trailhead. But you can see it's in a valley. It's just you can't see the rest of the valley. Alright, here is the sign I was looking for. See High Cerro Loop Trail. But as you can see, the bottom of here, we have Mount Whitney, 211 miles away. You got all these guys in between. This, you can see it said Loop Trail on there. This is actually shared with the Mist Trail, which is a very popular day hiking trail. It goes past two waterfalls. It's also the route to Half Dome, which is a very popular day hike. And it's also the route to Little Yosemite Valley, one of the backpacking, probably most popular backpacking campground. So this first part of the trail is going to be super busy. This is the first section I've found that doesn't have a whole bunch of people walking towards me, walking behind me, looking at me, talking to my phone. So coming up should be a nice little footbridge. We'll see what kind of water flow we still have. This is a very dry year for hiking this trail, so interested to see what we got. Coming up on the Vernal Falls footbridge here over the Merced River. Vernal Falls is the lower of the two waterfalls on the Mist Trail. It's a very popular spot to stop. Let's see what it's looking like. I mean, there's a lot of flow here, but this looks pretty low for this time of year. You can see the waterfall way back here. Right here. It's not bad, but it definitely, there's a lot of volume of water that comes down through here, so it could be better. This might be the only shot I get at Vernal Falls. The Mist Trail goes right next to it. The John Muir Trail kind of goes around it. The John Muir Trail does cross over the top of the other fall, Nevada Fall, so definitely be seeing that. But in the meantime, this is the glimpse of Vernal Falls. So now the trail says John Muir Trail on here is splitting off from the Mist Trail. So 2.4 miles to Nevada Fall, 7.2 to Half Dome. Let's do a little spin around here. Got the Merced River down there. And then that is the Mist Trail. And this is the John Muir Trail. At least it's shaded. When I left the Yosemite Valley, it was after 10 a.m. and above 80 degrees. So have some shade here, and at least while I was next to the Merced River, it was a little cooler. Not the ideal time to be climbing out of the valley, but you gotta work with what you've got. As I'm gaining in elevation, climbing out of the valley, I'm actually starting to get views back into the valley. Now again, this trail is kind of in the back corner of that greater Yosemite Valley I showed earlier. But through the trees here is the top of Yosemite Falls, and I'm shaking a little bit because this is a steep climb. So that's one of the more famous waterfalls in the park. It's one that does dry up, so it's still flowing a little bit, but I can't imagine it's gonna be flowing for longer. I was in this park not even that long ago, and there was much more flow to Yosemite Falls. So I should be coming up on a view of Nevada Falls. So the Mist Trail, which I'm paralleling right now, has Nevada at the top, Vernal at the bottom, and eventually be crossing over the top of Nevada Falls. Alright, getting higher in elevation. You can see some of the surrounding peaks. And around one of these corners, this is it. Come around the corner and see the top of Nevada Fall. I'm gonna stop the phone for a little bit and stop recording and get a little closer. This is technically called Clark Point. And there's a great view of Nevada Fall right over here. So this trail will cut over to the Mist Trail. The John Muir Trail
I'm gonna take a picture of Addie on the
keeps going up to the side this way. Danger waterfall. People have actually drowned. There's a nice pool right here. It looks like it's good for swimming, and that's where people have gotten swept over the waterfall. Kind of like these guys over here. Rangers will come by and get people out of these pools though. So this is the footbridge over Nevada Fall. And then this spills down into Yosemite Valley. I do not recommend doing what this person in the light blue is doing, and that they are getting way too close to the edge and way too close to the waterfall. There's a little guardrail down here to the right where you can get a nice view, but I think somebody recently died taking a selfie at this point too, so people are being swept over in waterfalls and dying taking selfies. Makes me nervous every time I walk past places like this. Next up on the Yosemite tour is Little Yosemite Valley, and there is a campground here. You can take this trail to the right to the campground. You can take it to the left. They both flank the campground. It's a really, really nice area. You can see the Merced River is right here too. The Merced actually flows right below, behind the campground, so when there's nice low flow like this, it actually makes a nice swimming pool way further upstream than Nevada Fall. But it does tend to get really crowded. So last time I was there, somebody brought their guitar and was sharing with the camp what was inside him, what he was feeling. He was not a professional. But when you're starting from Happy Isles, which is where I started, there's two options. There's an option where you spend the first night in Little Yosemite Valley in the campground, and there's another one that's a pass-through, which is what I have. So I'm going straight through, and it's a good stop if you score the Half Dome permits. You need a separate permit for Half Dome. I didn't get one this time. I have been up there twice before. If I remember, I'll try to link it. But yeah, I'm passing through. I've been dropping hikers along the way, which is good. I dropped some at the footbridge, I dropped some at the Mist Trail, a whole bunch just dropped off at Nevada Fall. Past the spur to Half Dome, should be dropping the rest. So you can probably see it through the trees here. This is the backpacker camp, Little Yosemite Valley. Those are the vault toilets. It's got vault toilets. It's got bear boxes. It's got the little backcountry pool. Just sometimes it has dudes and their guitars. So Half Dome is actually right here. That's what the backside looks like. There's a little dip right here, and that's how you get up. You climb this little hump, and then through the dip, it's just cables and slippery granite to the top. Passing the trail junction for Half Dome. Half Dome itself is between the trees right there. So, from this point on, it should just be backpackers. And I know the day hikers mean well, but towards the top of Nevada Falls, I had people being like, oh, slow and steady, and you're almost there, and you're almost there. It's worth it. But like, when you're 3 miles into a 200 plus mile trail, it's not really what you want to hear. And then at the top, when I was trying to distance myself from all the people kind of going up to that rounded cliff edge and bathing and wading directly above a waterfall, I found a semi-shaded spot with water access, and within minutes of sitting down there, I had a whole bunch of people join me, sitting within a couple feet of me, and one person actually put their feet in directly upstream from where I was collecting my drinking water. So kind of excited to be past the big day hiker section. I'm also psyched because there's 2 sections of this trail that I haven't hiked before, either just the regular hiking or the PCT, and this is one of them, from that junction for the Half Dome Trail all the way up to Tuolumne Meadows. So super psyched to see what's going forward. So unfortunately, this is what has been next. This has been a pretty extensive burn area. I took the trail, instead of coming up here, John Muir Trail and Little Yosemite Valley kind of goes left, and there's an option to go straight, and you go up through a series of valleys. And right after Little Yosemite Valley, when I took that last time I was here, there was lots of burned trees there too. So I'm not sure which fire this was, but it was a pretty extensive one. I'm gonna stop for a minute, just because I'm starting to get some beautiful panoramic views. You can kind of see through the trees. There's some non-vegetated big tall mountains, starting to get views into the higher elevations, but now I'm right on the edge of that valley that extends from Little Yosemite Valley, goes all the way up there, and then you can see the trees here way in the back. You got a side profile of it now, it's Half Dome, and then I'm assuming this is Cloud's Rest up here somewhere, which is this actually gorgeous viewpoint. There was a spur trail towards it. It just goes up in elevation. I didn't want to take it. I wanted to take the actual John Muir Trail this time. Someday do Cloud's Rest, but it's got great views of Tenaya Canyon and Yosemite Valley. So it's kind of fun to come out of the trees and see the scenery around here. You can see it's a little later in the day now. I just finished a kind of horrible climb. I'm cresting 9,700 feet, and Yosemite Valley is at right around 4,000. So that was a big climb to start this trail. It's going to be a low mileage day, but what I wanted to show, and I might not be able to, is I recognize some of the peaks. Oh, I think it's going to be covered by trees by now. There's Cathedral Peaks right in front of me. It's something I usually see. Let me see if I can come to the side. Something I usually see from Tuolumne Meadows. And here I am coming at it for another direction. Oh, the lighting is horrible on that. But pretty cool. Feels like I'm making progress. Here we go. Maybe a little bit better. Getting towards the end of the day, I'm going to have to find a campsite soon. You can probably see the mosquitoes are out and flying around. So, probably going to have to set my tent up quickly. How's this for a campsite? It's overlooking a meadow and then these peaks, and you can see the meadow below. There is another group here, but I think they're far enough away. They're not gonna bug me. I can hear them, but it's okay. What a pretty camp spot, though. Pretty cool find. And that's the end of day one. Short day as far as miles. Probably long video though. Those miles were pretty impressive. That was quite a climb. So tomorrow I'm actually heading to one of my favorite spots in Yosemite, and that's Tuolumne Meadows. And then after Tuolumne Meadows, the trail heads for the park border.